Crispy homegrown baby leaf lettuce. 7 varieties of lettuce, 7 weeks from seed sowing to harvest. Hello again. So this is the 4th of March and I've got 15 seed cells. I'm just filling them up with spent compost. I'm not sure what was growing in the pots that this came from. It's been stored since last year. Now I know the perceived wisdom is you should always use sterile seed compost for seeds. I find that stuff very expensive. I never buy it. I've not really had an issue with using spent compost. Or maybe I haven't, I just didn't realise. If this video ends in the next 30 seconds, you'll know I did have an issue with the spent compost. But anyhow, I'm sowing 7 different types of lettuce. Gillard or red romaine. Lobjoit, which I've never heard of. I don't even know if I'm saying it properly. Valmain, which I've never heard of. Arctic King. Winter Marvel. Rain de Glace, that's the toothed crispy lettuce. That's really nice. And Saladin. So all I'm doing is sprinkling the seeds across the top of the cells, labelling up the cells, what lettuce is in which cell, because I won't remember, and just giving the top a very light sprinkle of vermiculite and watering it all in. 8 days later, the 12th of March, and the lettuce have put on a fantastic amount of growth, all except the Saladin for some reason. So what I'm going to do now is pick out the individual seedlings and I'm going to give them their own seed cell. I'm going to do this for all of the lettuce, but I'll just show you a few and then show you the end result. So I've got a 24 cell seed tray. The compost in the seed tray is again spent compost with my own vermicompost added into it for a little bit of extra bump. So this is just a matter of prizing out the seedlings. I'm using a lollipop stick sharpened at one end, trying not to handle the stem. And the seedlings have a fantastic root system. It's about 3 times the size of the actual seedling above ground. It's a simple enough matter then of simply making a hole in the middle of the seed cell, gently dropping in the seedling, taking care not to damage the root, and gently firming the soil around. What I tend to do is to firm the soil around the outer edges, and when I water it then, that will settle the soil around the roots. So it reduces the chances of doing any damage to the root. These little seedlings have a fantastically well-developed root system, but they're still quite fragile. When you have a couple of seedlings together like that, it's just a matter of gently trying to prise them apart without holding the stem like I'm doing there. Just try and do it by holding the leaf. And if the root isn't damaged, it's good to go. I did lose a couple prising them apart, just where one was stronger than the other and the roots were quite tangled, so they snapped. So in that case, just take the one with the longest, strongest root. I'm firming around the outer edges rather than actually firming around the stem, because I don't want to damage those little roots. Once these are watered in place, any gap, any air pockets around the root, the water will eliminate those air gaps with the soil settling. And don't forget to label. So I got 20 of the red romaine. I'm just going to do exactly the same with the others. I have 3 seed trays, so I've got 72, and I've only got 4 of the saladin. So the other lettuce that are left, I'll just leave them as they are to grow on a bit more, and they will do as spares to fill the containers. So now it's just a matter of gently watering around the cells, letting the soil settle, and putting them away for the night. 18th of March, which is 6 days after we transplanted them into their individual cells, and they're all alive. So that's a good sign. I should have mentioned earlier that when I sowed the seeds until I transplanted them into the individual cells, so from the 4th of March to the 12th of March, the seed trays were left in the back room where it's just a house warm temperature. Not entirely sure what it was, but they all germinated very well there. So they were kept indoors until they popped their heads above the soil, and then they were transplanted into their own individual cells. So this is a lovely start to the month of April. Lovely sunny morning, and you can see the plants are doing really well. The exception is the red romaine, and I don't know if that's just, I've not grown red romaine before, and I don't know if that's just because it's a slower growing lettuce, but it doesn't seem to have put on the same amount of growth as the other lettuce, the other 6 varieties of lettuce. But they're all doing well. The plants are all very healthy. No snail or slug damage on them, which I'm really surprised about, because my back garden is slug city. But I'm very pleased with the way they've turned out, and it won't be long before I'll be transplanting them one more time into their final growing place, which is containers in the garden. 10th of April, and it's moving day. They're the containers I told you about. The fleece on top is just to stop the neighbours' cats from using my container garden as their own personal litter tray. And the plants all looking vigorous, all looking healthy, all looking very well, all put on a lot of growth. Again, the red romaine and the saladin are the smallest of the plants. So I've planted some out already, and I'll just show you planting the galadin or gillard. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I've not come across that one before. The red romaine anyhow. And apologies for not having a tripod. I can't find it. One of the upsides, my youngest is doing an instructor's course in Devon. And one of the great things about having your children move, it's heartbreaking and you miss them every second of every day, but the great thing is you can blame them for everything. So when things go missing, I just go, oh, she must have taken it to Devon. So it's really just simply a matter of, you could use a trowel, but the soil is very soft. It's sifted, part sifted garden clay, which is very heavy, part sifted used vermicompost, part my own vermicompost, and a little bit of bloodfish and bone added. So I'm just making a little dip about the size of the plug with my hand, gently pushing in the plant and firming around. These will get a good watering in, and that's it really. I've put 9 in that container. Now the spacing is very close, and you can see the same with the other containers, but that's because I've got so many plants. We're actually going to pick these as baby leaf lettuce. So, and I've got a lot of spares left over. What happened was, as I moved plants into their own individual cells, it freed up other trays and cells, and then I transplanted more out, and you know what I mean. So I still ended up with quite a lot of spares. And what I'm going to have to do now is just, apart from watering these in, is to cover them up with the bamboo sticks, simply because the cats and fox will dig them all up and do their business in the trays, which is not nice. So this is the 22nd of April, 7 weeks after we first sowed our seeds. And you can see the lettuce is looking lovely and crispy and healthy and very, very pickable. And of course, one of the great things about having a container of lettuce outside your own back door, apart from the healthiness of the food that you've grown yourself, is the fact that you have very little food waste, because you can go out and you pick exactly what it is you want to eat for that day. So there's no food waste. That's a good point about growing your own food, which I don't often hear a lot of people make. They talk about the healthiness of the food and organic growing and more nutrient packed vegetables and fruits and so on, which is absolutely correct. But the other thing is there's minimal food waste, because you're not buying a large bag of salad leaf. You're picking exactly what it is you want to eat for the day. Oh, isn't that a lovely sound? Crispy lettuce, 7 o'clock in the morning, being picked, as fresh as you can be. A little bit of red for colour. I love that crispy snap sound. It's a nice red looking leaf, so it'll be interesting to see how that tastes. So that's the lettuce for the salad for dinner picked. And there's one other little thing to do, and these are the radish from Babette's Moon Challenge. And you can see there was 4 sixes, 24 radish sowed. Almost none grew. What have I got? 5 that actually look like radish. But I'm going to pick one, and that is going to get added to the salad. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. You don't need a lot of space to grow something as simple as lettuce. You can have fresh organic lettuce in your back garden, at your back door, and if you only have a little pot, that's absolutely fine. If you've not grown lettuce before, give it a go. Any small container with drainage will do, and you'll be picking your own fresh lettuce, 7 o'clock in the morning. What could be nicer? As always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.